Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the world of colossal explosions that shook the very foundations of history. From man-made disasters to natural phenomena, these are the top 10 biggest explosions ever recorded. Buckle up as we count down the most explosive events that have left an indelible mark on our planet. 10. Halifax Explosion, 1917. Host. Kicking off our list is the tragic Halifax explosion of 1917. A collision between two ships led to a massive explosion, devastating the city of Halifax, Nova Scotia. The explosion's shockwave and subsequent fires killed around 2,000 people and injured over 9,000. 9. Texas City Disaster, 1947. Host. At number 9, we have the Texas City Disaster. A cargo ship carrying ammonium nitrate caught fire, causing a massive blast that destroyed nearby warehouses and ships. The explosion was so powerful that it shattered windows in Houston, located miles away. 8. Port Chicago Disaster, 1944. Show images and footage of the Port Chicago explosion. Host. Coming in at number 8 is the Port Chicago Disaster. An explosion occurred when a naval munitions depot in California exploded, causing a huge loss of life and prompting changes in naval safety procedures and racial policies. 7. Tunguska Event, 1908. Host. At number 7, we have the mysterious Tunguska Event. In a remote Siberian forest, a massive explosion flattened an estimated 2,000 square kilometers of trees. The cause is believed to be an airburst from a comet or asteroid. 6. Mount Tambora Eruption, 1815. Host. Taking the 6th spot is the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815. This volcanic explosion was the largest in recorded history, causing a year without a summer due to the amount of ash and aerosols it released into the atmosphere. 5. Opal Explosion, 1921. Host. At number 5, we have the Opal Explosion. An accidental explosion at a fertilizer plant released a shockwave that was felt over 300 kilometers away, causing massive destruction and loss of life. 4. Castle Bravo Nuclear Test, 1954. Host. In the 4th spot, we delve into nuclear territory with the Castle Bravo test. This thermonuclear test was part of Operation Castle and resulted in an explosion much larger than anticipated, with widespread fallout. 3. Chernobyl Disaster, 1986. At number 3, we have the infamous Chernobyl disaster. The explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant released a significant amount of radioactive material, making it one of the most catastrophic nuclear accidents in history. The Chernobyl disaster, which occurred on April 26, 1986, in the town of Pripyat, Ukraine, is a haunting reminder of the potential dangers associated with nuclear technology. The disaster unfolded at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, specifically in reactor number 4, during a late-night safety test. During the test, a combination of design flaws, human errors, and a series of unfortunate events led to a catastrophic explosion. The explosion ruptured the reactor vessel and ignited a massive fire that released an enormous amount of radioactive particles into the atmosphere. The immediate impact was the destruction of the reactor building and the release of a plume of radioactive smoke and debris. The explosion and subsequent fire led to the evacuation of nearby Pripyat and the establishment of an exclusion zone around the plant. The effects of the disaster were felt far beyond the immediate vicinity, as the radioactive plume carried dangerous particles across Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, and even parts of Europe. The release of radioactive material posed significant health risks to the exposed population, and the disaster's long-term consequences are still being felt today. The Chernobyl disaster remains one of the worst nuclear accidents in history due to its immediate and lasting impacts. The immediate aftermath involved emergency response efforts to contain the fire and prevent further releases of radioactive material. The plant workers, firefighters, and other personnel involved in these efforts faced high levels of radiation exposure, leading to acute radiation sickness and, in some cases, death. The long-term consequences of the Chernobyl disaster include a significant increase in thyroid cancers, birth defects, and other health issues among the affected population. The area around the plant, known as the Chernobyl exclusion zone, remains largely uninhabitable due to elevated radiation levels, and efforts to mitigate the environmental impact continue to this day. In conclusion, the Chernobyl disaster stands as a grim reminder of the potential consequences of technological failures and the importance of robust safety measures in high-risk industries. 2. Explosion of the Krakatoa volcano, 1883. Taking the runner-up position is the eruption of the Krakatoa volcano. The explosion generated a sound so loud that it circled the Earth multiple times. The resulting tsunamis caused widespread destruction across the region. The eruption of the Krakatoa volcano in 1883 is one of the most infamous volcanic events in recorded history. Located in the Sunda Strait between the islands of Java and Sumatra in Indonesia, Krakatoa was a stratovolcano that had been dormant for centuries. However, in the months leading up to the eruption, increased seismic activity and smaller eruptions hinted at the cataclysmic event that was about to unfold. On August 26, 1883, the Krakatoa volcano erupted with a series of massive explosions that had devastating consequences. The eruption was so powerful that it tore the island apart, triggering one of the largest and most violent volcanic eruptions in recorded history. The explosion generated an incredible amount of energy, resulting in a series of awe-inspiring events. The initial explosions were accompanied by an enormous volcanic plume that reached heights of over 20 kilometers, 12 miles, into the atmosphere. The force of the explosions was so great that it generated a shockwave that circled the Earth 7 times. The sound produced by the explosion was heard as far away as Perth, Australia, and Rodriguez Island in the Indian Ocean, approximately 4,800 kilometers, 2,983 miles, and 5,000 kilometers, 3,107 miles away, respectively. The eruption also triggered a series of massive tsunamis that radiated outward from the volcano. These tsunamis, with waves estimated to have reached heights of up to 40 meters, 131 feet, swept across the surrounding coastlines of Java and Sumatra. The tsunamis caused widespread destruction and loss of life, resulting in the deaths of tens of thousands of people in coastal communities. The combination of the explosive eruption and the tsunamis led to an estimated death toll of over 36,000 people. 1. Tsar Bomba nuclear test, 1961. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Our number 1 explosion is the Tsar Bomba nuclear test. This Soviet hydrogen bomb test unleashed the most powerful explosion in human history, with a yield of 50 megatons. The Tsar Bomba, also known as the King of Bombs, was a hydrogen bomb developed by the Soviet Union during the Cold War. On October 30, 1961, at the Novaya Zemlya archipelago in the Arctic Sea, the Soviet Union conducted this unprecedented test to demonstrate its nuclear capabilities to the world. The bomb was designed to be airdropped from an airplane and had a staggering explosive power equivalent to 50 million tons of TNT. The Tsar Bomba was an experimental device intended to push the boundaries of nuclear weapon technology, and its dimensions were truly extraordinary. The bomb weighed approximately 27 metric tons and measured about 8 meters in length and 2 meters in diameter. The bomber that carried the Tsar Bomba had to be modified extensively to accommodate its massive size and weight. When the Tsar Bomba was detonated, it created an awe-inspiring spectacle of destruction and power. The explosion generated an intense fireball that reached temperatures hotter than the center of the sun. The fireball rapidly expanded, creating a shockwave that could be felt over 1,000 kilometers away from the test site. The mushroom cloud that formed from the explosion rose to an astonishing height of around 67 kilometers, over 41 miles.